Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Market Update Show. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, then subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts to know when we're going live. We have a special live stream later today. And of course, if you like the content, please hit the like button. We have a lot of things in store for you today, right? But first, let's welcome everybody who's on the stream. All right. Logan and Megan and Aiken, first on the stream, welcome. We have Ali in London, Flipped Burger, appreciate the love, right? Watching, driving from Florida to Georgia, right? House Music, Cyprus, Malaysia, all right? Luxembourg, Indiana, Liverpool, Greece, Montreal, Germany, right? California, Colorado, Manchester. Love you all out there. Columbus, Ohio, Pakistan, okay? Madrid, Arkansas, Poland, Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner, Kentucky, all in the house, along with Amsterdam, coming to you from all over the world. One day, I'm going to go visit all these places so we can all hang out. Drew Solid coming in from Guam. That's new. All right. So we appreciate all our friends from Eastern Europe who are tuning in as well. All right. Dallas, South Africa, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Toronto. Going to go shopping for that Maple Leafs hat. I know you want me to wear it. All right. And we got friends in Birmingham. All right. So let's kick in to your market update. It's time for alt reason. Alt reason. Let's think about why we would like crypto and altcoins, what coins we would like, but most importantly, why we like them. And let's do what we do on this stream, which is think about stuff and talk about stuff before everyone else does. Because that's what we want to do, right? We want to give you the best information, human, AI, etc. So let's dive into it. Wow, crypto is going up. No better time than to jump on tokenmetrics.com. I was on it last night at midnight going through DeFi and Metaverse coins, right? Decentraland was one of the coins that were turning up 12% today. Love 30 is the coupon code. 30% off any annual plan, right? Or any upgrade. Subscription, if this market continues to go up, could pay for itself in 2 weeks. Not investment advice. And of course, if you're going to have an altcoin move, please dress appropriately. Later on today at 4:15 Eastern Time, 9:15 UTC, Mehdi and I will be on a live stream that will actually be on our channel where we'll be like entering trades and talking about how we would tactically navigate the markets, say, over the next 3 to 5 days. So we may have some long-term plays, some short-term plays, you know, and of course it'll be really interesting because Mehdi approaches the market like a fundamental analyst and I approach it like a technical analyst. So this should be an interesting contrast in styles, lots of investing ideas on things that might go up and things that might go down. For Token Metrics subscribers on 3:30 Eastern Time on February 16th, we're going to have a crypto tax webinar, right, for the Token Metrics community. So that means you have to be a subscriber to go to the webinar where I've already seen the presentation where the guy takes you through and does like an AMA on all the different things that the tax software does, right, to help people simplify what is, frankly, the most stressful time of the year for many people. Now, let's just take a brief look, right? So Marco likes Matic, Elrond, and Chainlink. I agree. Okay. I agree. Let's see what else we have. We have Zim coming in from London. We've also got California, Estonia, right? California, Wakanda, Nigeria, all right? South Africa, Dallas, all right? Welcoming everybody. Please hit the like button if you like the content. Let's begin with Bitcoin. This is something from Will Clemente, right? A Twitter influencer followed by somebody I know and respect. Hats off to you, Andy. The most pivotal moment in Bitcoin's history will be when it is flocked to instead of the dollar in a time of uncertainty. It won't happen today. It won't happen tomorrow. But when it does, that will trigger the hyper monetization of Bitcoin. Few understand that Bitcoin is the risk-off asset. So this got me thinking. Well, not arguing with this guy about Bitcoin at all. I mean, obviously, that's the dream of every crypto analyst, right? The day where, legacy goes down and crypto goes up. Question is, are we there right now? Is it the end of the world for legacy today, this month? I think the answer is no. That might lead to limitations in Bitcoin's upside gains. So definitely this is going to happen in the future, but it got me thinking, is there a place to go in crypto where you can get protection, possibly, from all the things that are, bothering everybody, particularly inflation and interest rates? And the answer is yes. So let's talk about geopolitics first and review what we talked about yesterday. Okay, war with Putin, all right, seems unlikely. Okay, the European countries cannot live without energy production from Russia. So sanctions seem not feasible. Militarily, the Russians only have 1/3 of the number of troops to occupy the Ukraine. It's not clear whether they could fuel their vehicles. And frankly, I don't know if, there's the stomach or, the sort of the will to actually go into a global conflict. I think Putin is trying to make a point that he has issues with NATO expansion, and that point may have been made. So this whole idea of war seems to have been something invented almost like by the media itself. Like Putin did move troops around, but he moved them around in his own country, right? Meanwhile, the West makes up this big story. And now Putin's like, oh, okay, well, I've made my point. And then there's a relief rally. So I don't think this idea of global conflict, I think it's over-reported. Now, altcoins. Are altcoins sensitive to increases in the Fed funds rate? No, but they would be very sensitive if the Fed just jams on the brakes and stops printing money, right? The Fed says, no more sugar, altcoins and equities are all going to go. All right, so we know that, right? No shit, right? Crypto can go down a lot. Crypto's already gone down a lot. And this is the question that I have. Once the inflation hysteria trade, once the, oh my God, what's the Fed going to do? Well, the Fed's going to raise interest rates and print less money. We know that, right? It's just how much drama are we going to have to live with about it? The bigger question is, what's the solution to inflation? What's the solution to keeping, the purchasing power of your money? No one's talking about that. Everyone's like, oh my God, the Fed has to stop inflation tomorrow. Well, that's not going to happen. That's going to take time, right? Again, inflation's at 7.5% and rates are at 0. What's the Fed going to do, right? Hike the funds rate to 10%? No. Okay. They're going to do the best that they can, but there's no incentive to destroy capital markets in the United States in an election year. So they're going to do what they have to do. They're going to do it quickly. They're going to talk tough. But what are people not talking about? How me, you, and primarily institutions can get an interest rate that beats inflation. How do you protect the purchasing power of your money? Well, you could buy Bitcoin and ETH and they could go up a lot. That would certainly work for me. Or you could put them into DeFi. And you're sitting out there going, did he just say DeFi? I'm like, yes, DeFi, right? I did some work. Our podcast guy did some, we did it together. We worked with the presentation of an anonymous crypto influencer, Red Phone Crypto. This individual thinks that crypto market cap could stay at 2 trillion while the total value locked in DeFi could double. And I think he's right. And I think now is the time to start thinking about doing that trade. It's almost like a value investing idea. It's like you can get involved now, and then whatever the Fed says when the FOMC minutes are released and whatever gymnastics come out off that, then you can either buy on a dip or add more if your trade works. So let's dive into it. Total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Very important chart. All right. I know we've been talking about it a lot. So first it was bearish, then it was bullish, then it turned bearish again, and now it's trying to be bullish. So we're trying to see if a bearish pattern is validated. Okay. Last week's reversal was kind of grotesque, scared all of us. This week, altcoins are recovering. We believe Avalanche could be a top 5 coin. We've talked about this. Not investment advice from both a technical and a fundamental point of view. Always feel free to go back and check out our Avalanche videos, including the video where Mehdi talked to the founder of Avalanche, or not the founder, or one of the people, the senior people inside that project. Total value locked inside Avalanche is rising rapidly. So this idea of altcoins outside Bitcoin and ETH, they may do better, and the market's got to hold up until Sunday. But as of now, I'm optimistic because there are a lot of themes inside crypto that are underrated. Now let's talk about Ethereum. I'm using the 18-day moving average. Again, another hat tip to my friend who's always helped me and one who helped get me into crypto. 18-day moving average has become fashionable. So as you can see, ETH is launching itself off the 18-day moving average, right? It might approach 3250. So as I said earlier last week, you don't want to get too bearish at 2850 because it's probably coming back to 3000. That's from developments in the options market. And I guess if ETH goes to 3250, you don't want to get crazy in Ethereum, although I'd love it if it broke out, right? If Ethereum broke above, say, 3100 or 3150, right? ETH could go to 3400. Okay, they could. But most likely, ETH and Bitcoin are probably stable. Like Bitcoin probably can go to like 47 or 48K, and maybe you get a nice pop in ETH to 3,500. But the trade may be elsewhere. I'm not saying that, I'm bearish ETH. I'm actually super bullish ETH. I think you can go to 4,000. But is that the trade today? Okay, so moving over to Bitcoin, this is where I get the idea that Bitcoin can go to 47K, right? In other words, it hits 44, it holds, and it turns around and goes to 47. There were definitely a lot of buyers down there at 41. Bitcoin seems stable, right? I think when you see Bitcoin up at 47 or 48K, it's going to stop. You're going to have hedging pressure. And if there's a bid for the rest of the month, it's going to be in altcoins, stocks. Now, this is the big wild card for crypto. Can the stock market keep its shit together after the Fed comes out and says whatever they're going to say, right? The stock market is very sensitive to how much money they're going to print, as is crypto, right? But the stock market isn't down anywhere as near as much as crypto is, right? Crypto is destroyed in many sectors, right? Where equities are just sort of hanging out. So if equities can hang out near the 18-day moving average at 44.50, I'll take that. I'll take it. Now let's talk DeFi. Where are you going to get yield? It's as simple as that, right? So let's take a look at Trader Joe. Really simple. Been watching this for a while, right? Is a teacup and handle. Now, I know people may be selling Joe tokens to pay taxes from yield farming. All right. That said, if DeFi takes off, who's talking about Trader Joe? Nobody. Nobody. And if there are all these mechanisms out there, whether it's Avalanche, Phantom, Near, or even ETH-based DeFi, like what happens if institutions start getting involved in some of these tokens, right? Can there be an across-the-board DeFi rally if altcoins do okay, right? I'm looking at any swap. This is kind of like, from the Red Phone crypto research, they made a new low, and that new low was unconfirmed. Watching this on tokenmetrics.com itself last night, very intrigued by the chart and the readings from our ratings page. Did you know that on our ratings page, you can actually, see if there's like, hey, what are the coins that have trending ratings? What are the coins that, are still positive from like a momentum point of view in technical analysis? You can scan and see all of that. That's where some of these charts come from. So if you have any swap or any type of cross-chain trading or cross-chain DeFi, I'm interested in that. Okay. Rari governance token. Okay. Fingers crossed. Rari could be brutal. Okay. But if the DeFi narrative picks up again, right, look at how destroyed this coin is. It was at 32 back at the start of the year. So a month later, it's gone from 32 to 20. So let me get this straight. DeFi mechanisms that help protect people against inflation are like 40, 50% below where they were a month ago. It doesn't make sense. It feels like an opportunity. DeFi perp. So this is like general DeFi futures contract. All right. Stochastics crossing up. All right. Stochastics crossing up. Right. DeFi as a sector, right, along with ETH, Avalanche, and some layer ones that we'll get to, may actually pick up. Herein finance. Now, I know, groans in the audience. Bill's talking about Herein again. But the brutality of how this thing has, sucked people in and shaking people out, if they've changed the tokenomics, it only takes one institutional investor or one big surge in total value locked for some of these coins to go up, because I think they've been doing the accumulation cone up in the top left. What's that accumulation cone? Well, it comes from a book called Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. Basically, the first technical analyst ever, right? Or at least one of the most, at least one that got published, used to keep a diary of formations that worked. And he saw these accumulation cones, right, which were a prelude to a much bigger trend. So if Herein finance can actually pick up and get going, if post-Fed minutes, there's like a DeFi awakening, right? Herein might do better. Herein might go up a lot. Same thing with Chainlink, right? Long-term charts and other research we've done on Chainlink indicates that, I don't mind talking about Chainlink at 34. So if you know a Link Marine, right, I think Chainlink can go to 34 if there's a DeFi rally that lasts more than 2 weeks, right? And with Chainlink, it's traded on centralized exchanges. It's got an accumulation cone going. It's been really annoying because it's been thrashing between 18 and 16. But if the Fed comes out and there's a dip and the whole market doesn't go to hell, Chainlink might actually go up a lot, right? Because again, Chainlink was at 24 a month ago. Near protocol, a layer one that everyone seems to have forgotten about. Now, we know Avalanche is probably going to wind up, really taking a lot of market share. But I think people gave up on this. This reminds me of when Near was back around 9 or 6. Why is everyone giving up on this? The stochastic picture looks really good, right? And if there's like one or two more green candles, near could go to 15. And I think it's reasonable from an Elliott wave point of view that even though it's not shown here, that, near could wind up taking off, and going to 21. Okay. Phantom, another platform no one's talked about. Now, maybe Phantom was a kind of temporary flash in the pan, right? Where, a lot of fast money piled into Phantom for DeFi. But if the DeFi narrative picks up, Phantom is just coming off support at 190. So if you get a break of the 18-day moving average at 205, Phantom is interesting to me, right? I mean, you can put the stop at 190 if it doesn't work, or below 190. But, you could wind up with a move to 350 or higher. Polkadot. Everyone has just completely given up on this. I mean, this thing has failed. This thing has failed 4 times since December. Now, I know Polkadot's highly speculative, but this idea of connecting blockchains together is something that could pick up. It could wake up, right? In other words, if you said, all right, if altcoins have anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, what's totally beat up? What does no one own? What has everyone given up on? Well, I mean, everyone hasn't given up on Cosmos. That was the hot play. It looks like everyone packed it in on Polkadot. So you're like, hey, Bill, Polkadot Chainlink's not very sexy. No, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be sexy to go from 22 to 32. Okay, Decentraland. Kind of a heartbreaker in a way. I did all this great chart work last night late and woke up with Decentraland up 12%. Okay, Decentraland's not only up 12%, but all the bells and whistles on token metrics in the metaverse, okay, blinking green. So not all the bells and whistles, but like, say, Magic, Vulcan, Decentraland, all going green at the top of the token metrics metaverse rankings. So if this continues over the next couple days, you might see metaverse tokens and DeFi tokens start to pick up. Looks rare. Speaking of token metrics, our fundamental analyst warned our readers and our listeners on our premium webinar that Looks Rare may have problems because of wash trading, right? And there was some suspicious activity. And one of the things we help you do is avoid scams or problems, right? So it sounded good that there'd be a decentralized competitor to OpenSea, but a lot of the volume turned out to be fake. Sushi, the ultimate DeFi heartbreaker, right, is currently around $4. Now, I guess the way I would use Sushi is, since Sushi is the dog of dogs, even though I think it has a positive fundamental story, as in like it's rooted outside the United States, if there's, pressure from regulators. I know this coin just like totally collapsed because I thought it was going to be good at 5, but I'm watching to see if Sushi can break out. Because if the least of our brothers can break out, then, you could have Chainlink, Rune, Rari, AnySwap, right? Any of these other DeFi tokens. We were looking at beefy finance on token metrics. All right. That is your market update. Let me see if I can bring up tokenmetrics.com so I can just show you some of the things that I've been talking about. Okay, so let's go to the ratings page. Let me share my screen. Stay with me here. Stay with me. Here comes the screen share now. All right, so let's just discuss how I did my homework last night, right? So I went to decentralized finance. You can sort on token metrics by sector, right? So right here, where you see the mouses, that's beefy finance, which has been doing very well lately, right? That's been picked up by our indices. But look what else is happening. API 3, all right? And these green signals are all bullish. In other words, our momentum indicators are starting to turn positive, right? So trading signal bullish, all right, for a lot of DeFi tokens. Okay, there's API 3 was in here. Okay, there's Keep Network, which I thought was interesting as well. DYDX down today, right? But another point of interest. Like, these are big cap coins that you can put stops in, right? And I'm kind of hoping Tokamak eventually turns around. Now let's go to Metaverse, right? Because again, I can say, all right, what do I like? What do I like in DeFi? And then what do I like in Metaverse? So here comes the Metaverse section of Tokemetrics in our ratings. So as you can see, there's a lot of red ink still in the Metaverse, but, Magic, Decentraland, Decentral Games, Vulcan, and Decentraland just went bullish on these trend signal indicators. So that's when I go running over to the chart, and I've got a couple of different types of charts that I look at, right? So that's just to give you an idea as to, how to use Tokemetrics and how I use Tokemetrics. All right, let's go to the chat and see what we got. Okay, MXDI giving me some love. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, Marco wants to know, what about SNX? Okay, I'll dive into that in a second. Somebody else wants to look at Gala Games. Josh, let's check it out. All right, here are the ones everyone's interested in. Okay. All right, so let's share the screen and dive in. Somebody on my Twitter, where I have like the Notorious Bill, they said I was like the Notorious Bill character in real life. He made up lyrics on the fly the way I make up charts. So the artist that drew that picture will no doubtly love that feedback. So let's do some freestyle TA and see what we can get for you. Let's start with Matic. Let's start with Matic. Let me get to Matic. All right. So my Matic chart's kind of busy. So let me just delete a whole bunch of stuff off of here. All right. So I think what I was noting when I was drawing these little orange circles were all the points where everyone gave up on Matic. Right. Everyone gives up on Matic at the bottom of this linear regression band. Right. So look at the chart this way. So everyone gives up here. Everyone gives up here. Everyone gives up again here. Okay. Notice, okay, if we zoom in on the Matic chart, right? All right. There's the zoom in. Okay. The 18-day moving average is roughly at $1.70. I mean, not investment advice, folks, but I don't see any reason why with this stochastics picture and all this support here. I mean, look at this puke. Look at this, right? I mean, if you widen this out, this was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of puking. Everyone's just like, okay, crypto's never going up in our lifetime. I'm like, okay, really? You think so? I don't. I mean, if DeFi and ETH and NFTs all have a renaissance, I can definitely see Matic turning right around and going back to the top of this regression band at 280, right? I mean, the Fed's going to come out and say what they're going to say. I can't predict how the markets are going to, move after a Fed statement. But I mean, when are we going to stop gyrating on Fed statements? Inflation's bad. They got to raise rates. They got to print less money. Once they shut the printing press off tomorrow, who cares? Seriously, who cares? It's priced in. I mean, it may not be priced into equities, but I'm thinking it's priced into crypto. Okay, somebody out there asking for VeChain. I know the VeChain army is out there. Big fan of the show from when we used to do stuff on Sunday live streams. Okay, let's talk about VeChain and let's talk about pain. Right? So the good news is, and I think you're going to see this everywhere, my friend and his 18-day moving average, I'm kind of liking this. In other words, there's There's the idea that, you can get good projects at good entry points. Then there's another idea that once they bounce, like, if they puke to the good point, and then you see the market start to validate what's happening, right? Look at the stochastic picture in this. I mean, people want to own this. And you remember what happened with crypto the last time. There was like an inflation number, or there was a payroll number, and crypto went up anyway, right during the inflation number, right before it, when no one would have thought to buy it. Now, again, going back to this thing about Putin and like Putin versus the West, there's no interest. There's no rationale for anybody to start a war, right? I mean, unless somebody actually attacks somebody else, it's theater. And actually, so is the Fed thing. They have to raise rates. That's it. Okay, now what? Right? I mean, they gave up on supply chain stuff like VeChain, and when the technicals are positive, F it. Let's go with it. Okay? Chainlink I covered earlier, but I can cover it again. Okay, Elrond is showing up on token metrics, probably because of the big spike up, right? And stochastics in Elrond are actually turning higher. Right. So in many ways, even though this big spike here is really annoying, right? Let's just take a look at this right here. Okay, Elrond probably has to go through 200. And you know what? To be honest with you, unless the market totally falls apart, it has a shot. Now, the other argument is that Elrond has like done its move. But if I was long Elrond, just move the stop up. Or if you're a bag holder, just leave it, right? Let the Fed story come out. Let Elrond trade. All right, let's take a look at Gala, because I know everyone is really hot to trot on Gala. Gala is an example of the expensive get more expensive, right? Because everybody got short this. Everybody got short this, thinking it was expensive, and they got smoked. Now, the most important thing I can tell you about Gala, which is what encourages me about the whole market, is notice here, okay? So if I zoom this in, notice how with Gala, right, they broke the moving average here and then came back here and retested it. So it broke above the 18-day, came back down, and now Gala's running. And I think if Gala goes above 35 cents, you could have an across-the-board metaverse breakout. In other words, what leads altcoins, right? It used to be layer ones lead everything else. I'm starting to wonder if DeFi and Metaverse could lead the bigger layer ones, right? A little bit counterintuitive, but I know that there are plays out there. There's got to be plays out there where if altcoins turn around, right, with all this selling and all this puking, like remember that guy that came on the stream, like, and it was like, hey, Bill, you've been bullish and I'm selling it in your face. I'm like, all right, well, maybe, right? So it got sold in my face. So the market went down. So what? The market went down on what? World War III? 3 days later, Putin is telling everybody to just calm down. Okay. Okay. SKL. So let's maybe go to an intraday picture on this. All right. So SKL is probably at resistance. Right? That doesn't mean it looks bad. It just means it's at resistance. Right. And it also looks like, people seem to be trying to head for the door here. Now, what I would look for in SKL, right? So you have sellers pounding on this thing every time it goes up to 18 cents. Okay. Right there. Now, the good news is every time it goes down, there were buyers here and here. So in some ways, it feels like this is not the greatest looking chart in the world because, you've got people who want to get out right where this give up trade started. Like this give up trade from 17 cents to 10 was brutal. So you've got bag holders who are looking to get out. But let me just label this here for people watching it later. Okay. If you believe in this, let the bulls have their chance. Let them have their chance, right? I'm so tired of everybody being negative. mean, I understand that, at some point this year, risk assets may be in trouble if the Fed has to, really aggressively do things. But I'm sticking with my view. I'm sticking with it, right? Basically, the second half of February can give you more gains than you may get, say, I don't know, in the next couple of months. So if you're taking a shot, let's take it. All right. Okay. Somebody was asking, we have Sol. All right. Okay. So we have MOVR, right? Okay. So let's chart MOVR. All right. Now, again, what's happening here? You've got this completely destroyed coin, right, that made all kinds of new lows while stochastics were making new highs. You've got a great looking stochastic picture here. You've got a great looking takeoff above the 18-day moving average. It's not perfect. And I understand, you have bag holders who need to get out, right? So I'm not an expert as to the value proposition of this. I know Medi on our YouTube channel has done more. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on alerts for our YouTube channel to see when Medi will post additional videos where he actually talks to guys from the projects. So again, as I'm looking at this, yeah, I know it's easy to be constructive on an up day, right? And people have been definitely selling this, right? But if the bulls take control, in other words, if you go down to like an intraday picture, okay, so this is like Moon River on an 89-minute chart. So this to me is encouraging, right? Because everybody sells up here. Everyone's like, okay, I got to get out. And then people are like, hey, wait a minute. I want to buy the dip. This is an 89-minute chart of Moon River, right? In other words, I think there's legitimate reason to give the market a chance here. Okay, Marco wants to know if alpha is dead. I looked at alpha last night and I said, can I dare bring it up after this, the heartbreak that this coin gave me personally, right? Absolutely heartbreaking stuff. Now, these guys were building an NFT order book. This is the daily chart of alpha. I don't know if there's anything that could be drawn from a trend line point of view, but since we are doing freestyle, let's see if we can figure something out. Let's try a 2-day chart. Okay, that looks like a data error. Right. So the point is with alpha, right? Let's see if I get something else here. When it comes to DeFi coins, the thing you have to ask yourself is, how undervalued and beat up is it? Okay, so here's alpha. Here's just the pain of it all, right? This 21-day moving average, this 18-day moving average, it just can't get through. It just can't. All right. All right. But I'm interested because, this trend line, this could be a bump and run. So I know there's like heavy bag holders in this. I also think that there's just solutions in the DeFi universe. Everyone talks about the problem of inflation. No one talks about the solution for inflation. Now, can this coin rally? Well, it's certainly going to have to prove it, right? And I know this is basically a mechanism where it primarily benefits, yield farmers and things like that. So we'll see. But again, when it comes to, when it comes to DeFi, it's a thing not to go to sleep on. Okay, CM wants to know why 89-minute charts. Okay, 89 is a big number in Gann analysis. All right. It has to do with divisibility into 1356. So I know an Elliott Wave guy who was like one of my mentors, and I've always just like to fool around with 89-minute charts. Okay. Okay. Megan wants to know, Bill asking for a friend, best project that hasn't run up to throw 5K into NFA. All right, Megan, I'd love to help you with that, but that would be investment advice. Okay. That said, you know, if you're looking for 100X, I don't know that I can help you with that. The coin that I like for 100X, I don't talk much about because it's another heartbreaker, is Rune. Okay. Rari governance token is another thing that I'm interested. You can get that on centralized exchanges. Okay. So that would be my feeling. Somebody else feels Russia will attack tomorrow. Okay. That's Danny's cooking show. All right. So a lot of geopolitical uncertainty is still out there. I don't think Putin's going to do it, but that doesn't mean he won't do it. I think the other thing about that situation that you have to consider is I realize that Putin is, you know, framed in the West as the bad guy. You also can't discount the fact that, you know, we as in the West, the United States, may actually start shooting at him. Be careful with that. You got all that military force in one place. Now, I actually think that's a bigger risk for March. Right now, everyone's just moving into place and trying not to freeze to death out there. So I believe less of a risk of war, but you never know over the next 2 days what can take place. I want to focus on the solution. The solution to misery is the metaverse. The solution to inflation is DeFi. Now, this is Reef. Someone's asking for this. So let me just pull this up. Again, this whole thing about the 18-day moving average, right? And these downtrends are so steep. I mean, it's like it's hard to even be able to like draw trend lines because the downtrends themselves are so steep. Let's try. Okay. So, you know, you have a half decent bump and run here potentially, right? Right? With stochastics actually knifing higher. So you're above the 18-day moving average, right? And you're above a trend line. So, I mean, why not? Carlin, I appreciate the love out there. Okay. Lava wants to know about Sheeb, aka Casino Coin. I have seen a guy I respect on Twitter talking about the ape meme coin. Okay. I guess if we're going to speculate, there are all kinds of interesting things to speculate in. Okay. Frankly, it looks like everyone is selling Sheeb on rallies. Okay. All right. And it may be because that ape coin takes over the meme coin space. This is Sheeb on a daily basis. Now, if the Fed comes out and the Fed's dovish, right, I would say, you know, the level I'd be looking at in Sheeb is right here. Okay, so Sheeb is right at a point. People are selling it at resistance, but if Sheeb turns around and breaks out, you know, the trade may wind up being in that ape coin. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, let's try UOS. Wow. Okay. So this is yet another case where you get a move through a moving average, right? Okay. It's basically coming right to a trend line. So once it breaks the moving average, once it breaks the trend line, it goes. I'm not familiar with the fundamentals of this coin, but this is an example of what happens if everybody just kind of wakes up and doesn't care about the Fed and war, or if there are dips off the Fed and war, and it's like, okay, you know what? It's happened. I mean, the uncertainty over the geopolitical situation almost limits how hysterically hawkish the Fed can get. It's better to focus for the market to focus on a solution to the problem, which I believe in DeFi. Okay. Okay, we have a Metaverse coin. I think it's XYZ. Someone's asking about. Okay, so that's the XYZ governance token. Not seeing anything there that's earth-shattering, right? In other words, it looks like they slammed it and they want to actually buy a dip. All right, you just have to be careful with any of these like Metaverse or NFT marketplace plays. All right, let's go over to Sol because I know people are asking about Sol and RMRK. So let's do Sol. Right. So one of the things that we've talked about with Sol was that, you know, it held the 62% retracement at $1.60, right? Stochastics are knifing up. Now, one of the things about Sol that could be interesting is who wants to buy altcoins up 10%? Nobody. Nobody, right? Bull markets are hard. So I know it's easy to be bullish on a green day, and I know that I've been kind of like bull-tarred for the month of February, but I'm staying with that. I'm staying with that, right? If you're going to make money in altcoins, I think now's the time to do it, particularly if Bitcoin stays at 47K or gets to 47K and sits, and the world doesn't end because of the Fed or war, right? In other words, if everyone wakes up 2 days from now and goes, why was I upset again? Right? These coins that you may be in and you believe in, right? So we got RMRK. I think somebody was asking about this. You know, again, up 15% today. And I believe the point I was making about RMRK is how many bearish days you had all the way down, right? In other words, look over here. How many days, how vicious was the give up trade in this, right? And this is a growth coin. It's like Render, right? I mean, where was this coin? This coin was at, you know, I don't know. This coin was so high, I can't even keep it on my screen. You have stochastics knifing up. We know that. And this was a $60 coin that's now at 20. That now that it's up 15%, I mean, I get that no one probably wants to buy it at resistance at 20, right? So, you know, some of these Metaverse coins, like I think if there's going to be any FOMO, if FOMO is warranted, it may be in Decentraland. But again, nobody wants to buy these coins up 15 or 20%. Now, I don't advocate FOMO, but I'm also advocating buy breakouts, right? This goes back to this whole thing about having a core position. Because if you look at this, you're like, oh, I missed it. I didn't catch it. Did you? I mean, RMRK has been in a range between 20 and 12 for a month. So if you just walked in today and be like, oh, I've been on vacation for a month. Oh, wow, RMRK is at 20. It's at the top of its recent range. So yes, it's at resistance. You don't want to buy resistance. But is this worth looking at? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Right? Especially since, you know, they tried to kill it. They tried to kill it and it came back. Wow, we got some jump on the screen on the stream today. Love to have y'all. Right. Megan's like, hey, you know, geopolitical and Fed scare played out. Now with Luna, it's very interesting, right? You know, support, the resistance point is at 61. Luna is now taking out its 18-day moving average. Let's check the stochastics picture. Okay. I mean, this is really a really beat up coin. Now, it doesn't have a very constructive formation. I don't like this head and shoulders top. But again, how can I talk about DeFi without at least mentioning the possibility of Luna? So if you wanted to value invest in Luna, particularly since you can get it on centralized exchanges and use a stop, again, use a stop, right? Okay. Or manage your position size so that, you know, if this thing takes off, if there's one last scary thing happening in the next 2 days, you can just sidestep that and go. My guess is crypto is sick of it. I'm sick of it. Okay, so here's IMX. All right, so here's the 4-hour chart. So we had this like big spike up, right? Everybody sells. And now we have to sit and wait to see if we can get a rally. So I don't want to say this can't go up, but it feels to me like this right here is some kind of a base. It's weird. You got a lot of things in crypto making these like, you know, you have that Jesse Livermore formation, but you've also got this like expanding range at a bottom, which is like, it's like unheard of. Okay. Now I know everything is up today. Okay. I think this is the time to take a look and say, do you believe in IMX? I believe this is something that we actually liked fundamentally, right? And ask yourself what happens if you get a dip or if it just breaks out, should you go with it? I mean, I remember I was up late last night and the whole market was up like 4 or 5%. And I was like, wow, you know, I hope this thing is at least where it is right now so I'm not being bullish when the market is up 6%. Speaking of that, let's just check the market to see what's happening. So you have stocks. Okay, here's stocks, right? Probably getting less and less worried about the Fed as time goes on, right? I don't know if the minutes are already out or not. Feel free to comment on that if you've seen it. Okay. Oh, right. Nicole wants synthetics. So one thing about synthetics that's interesting, just wanted to note there that equities were stable. So that's a good thing. Okay. Synthetics had been leading the whole market for a while, right? The whole DeFi sector. So let's take a look at a daily chart of synthetics. Okay. All right. So synthetics has got to get back above 550. I'm asking myself, you know, how much pain can there be? Somewhere inside DeFi, there's a solution to inflation. There's a solution. Now, if you really want to get bullish, right? If you want to drink, you know, maybe a little Kool-Aid, I don't know, you might draw this in synthetics. It might be a head and shoulders bottom. Okay. So sometimes when you have a head and shoulders bottom formation, right, bears are the angriest. So what is a head and shoulders bottom? Well, bears try to push it down, right? And then bulls counterattack. And then bears try to push it down again. They make a big new low and bulls bring it back. Then on that third try, that's when bears really get pissed off. They're like, you know what? F you, I'm taking this down. And that's when the bulls hit them with the elbow. And all of a sudden the bears realize, holy shit, we can't take it down. Now, if you look at synthetics right here, if you look at these 4 candlesticks, I mean, synthetics went from 588 to 440 in 4 days. So if the bulls go running for the hills, and this formation is probably a little bit outside the box, but it kind of meets the criteria where you would have a substantial bottom where bulls would be like, all right, I'm going to try to take charge. You know, and from a risk reward standpoint, you've got this low to lean on. Right? So, yeah, synthetics is up today, but honestly, where is it? Oh, it's right back to where it was 2 days ago, right? This whole hysterical, whatever this was, is over. So synthetics is back where it was a couple days ago, and people are probably looking at the chart going, I missed it. I'm like, you missed what? What did you miss? Nothing. What people may be missing is that somewhere inside DeFi, right? Somewhere inside DeFi is a solution to inflation. Now, I'm obviously working very hard to figure this out, right? So I can help you guys, because I want to do that. Okay, so Internet Computer Protocol. Okay, all these charts are almost the same. They're all trying to do a sustained breakout of that 18-day moving average, right? And I think it's going to be helped by the fact that the stochastics pictures are improving. So if the stochastic picture continues to improve, right, ICP can go higher. I got caught in an event the other day. I mean, I got caught like, Russians, everybody's moving troops, war imminent, inflation going to 20%. Inflation's a problem. What's the solution? Okay. I talked about Room. I'm going to talk more about that in the trading stream later on today. Just remember at 4:15 Eastern time. Okay, going to be talking more about Rune at that point. Just remember, Rune is a value play. It's risky. They've had problems with technology execution, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, if it's cross-chain DeFi and they capture just a percentage of the collateral from, like, say, Bitcoin and Ethereum, right, the coin could go much, much higher. Okay, Bosun. I think the theme that I'm getting from looking at the market today is, the market's trying to take out the 18-day moving average, right? And it's trying to break out above a trend line. So really all it takes is one big day today or one big day tomorrow, right? Or like, after say the 16th or the 17th for this thing to really get moving. It's easy to be bullish when it's up 15%, right? But if you're going to make money, let's do it now. And again, with Bosun, it's almost like you have to look at it and ask yourself, where is this thing relative to where it was a couple of days ago? So, here is everybody freaking out about what? What is everyone freaking out about? Look at this downward sloping wedge, right? Bears try to press it down, and bulls pop it up. This is Bosun 89-minute. Give peace a chance. Give altcoins a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, we pull up coin after coin after coin, and it's like the same, right? Somebody's asking for VUM. I haven't looked at that. I don't have that in my system. Okay. Routine Cheese wants to know if Audius is dead. Well, I don't know that Audius is dead. That's not the phrase I would look for Audius. I do think Audius is for like long-term hodlers, right? In other words, I think if you're in Audius, you're in it, okay, because you think it can go up over the long term. Now, that said, I still believe it's an accumulation cone in Audius. Right? We talked about this a couple of days ago, right? And then I got hit with all of this gymnastics off the war trade. So, somebody came on the stream and said, F you, Bill, I'm selling. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, he won the day, right? But again, this accumulation cone is still in effect. It's still in effect, right? I mean, why is everybody doubting that this is an accumulation cone? If anything, it looks like bears just completely took over and pushed bulls. It went down 25 cents, right? So, I don't think I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over in Audius. If anything, I'm holding to my theme that if you're going to make money in altcoins, you should do it now, right? Like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. But you don't want to be in the middle of a bear market in July and say, damn, I wish I had gotten on a Metaverse or a DeFi play, or at least tried, right? There's no incentive to not try. Okay, so, honestly, hard to get a read in render. It has to get above a moving average in order to be good. Let's go to a shorter term time frame, like 4 hours. All right, so the way I would say it in render is, assuming this bull market keeps going into Metaverse, it can probably attack 4. And probably attack 4 with support underneath at like 290. Oops. Oh, when things are up 15% in one day, you can get dips during the day. All right, so, this is coming back to a level that stopped it, like right here. So let's zoom in on this and put render 4 hour, RNDR for 4 hour charts, right? When you look at this, ask yourself, all right, first of all, where is this versus where it was a couple days ago? Most likely right back where it is right now. Now, again, with render, you don't want to buy resistance. Okay, you got people selling here because this was a prior, this was a prior floor back on February 3rd. So, there's a difference between buying, say, a breakout in Decentraland and being a moon boy in other coins, right? You might have to wait a day or two to get the trade location in order to do it. But bigger picture, again, the extent of the give up trade in this, right? I mean, this was as high as 4. They crashed it down here to 2, right? So 4 is possible, but it's got to get through resistance. Okay, Lava wants to know, somebody's asking for Solana. So let's talk about Solana, and then we'll do XRP after that. Okay, so this is a 4 hour chart of Solana. Let's try to go to 8 hours. So with Solana, here's the story, right? 1 minute, Kraken is saying that this is going to go to 600. The next minute, it can't even rally. Can't do anything. Now, if you look at an 8 hour chart, okay, Solana's fortunes may be improving. Let's take a look at the daily chart. I mean, you can see how unbelievably beat up this is. I mean, we're down here at the bottom of this linear regression band, right? So let me just draw a contrast. So, I mean, Solana was going up forever at 260. Okay, now no one even wants to talk about it at 92. And the 18-day moving average is at 105. I mean, I just think all these layer ones and stuff that people were talking about, like everyone got caught off guard last year when the Solanas and the AVAXs and all these coins mooned. Then they all got dumped. Then everybody packed it in, right? Everyone packed it in. Now, is this better than Avalanche? Probably not. But if there's an NFT narrative or a positive fundamental catalyst, this has a huge amount of room to go up. The only question is, should it? All right. Is Cardano dead? I don't think so. Honestly, I've been looking at this for a couple of days, and I'm like, this is somewhat interesting to me. Okay, let me see if I can find Cardano. Where is it on my screen? Here it is. Okay, is this dead? Okay, my answer would be no, and here's why. Actually tough. Like, some of these things are so trashed, it's tough to fit the price action on the screen. I mean, I understand this moving average is resistance, but you've got a favorable momentum picture, right? And I'm not sure that this decline in Cardano, frankly, wasn't bullshit, right? It was just everybody just panicking. Why is everyone panicking? Like, I know there's all kinds of stuff that are probably going to wind up being negative later. I just don't understand why everyone's panicking now, right? Okay, somebody's asking for Dome. I don't know if that's a symbol or a coin name. Since we never look at it, let's take a look at it. Okay, well, it looks like that's going straight up. So probably not a lot of need for me on this, but let's see if I can find an upside target of interest. So, I mean, I guess if this keeps going, it can go to 9 cents. Try a different look here. All right, one more time. Okay, that's better. Welcome to the subjective world of drawing fib extension numbers. Okay, so we know we had good support at 3.5 cents. Okay, and we know that there's resistance at 0.07. Now, we all know that once you get these things that are like an object in motion, you know, especially if they're like the new hot shiny thing, you know, if you have like a crypto Valentine's fantasy, 12 cents is a top fib extension level above the market. That's not saying it's going there, not investment advice, but you know, sometimes when these coins moon, you know, they move. You know, it looks like it's headed for 0.07. Okay. Okay, so somebody is saying I have, you know, money in Crow. Okay, would it be better off going somewhere else? Okay. I know people are out there making money, and I know that crypto.com, when it moved, you know, it was very tempting to get in. Our quant guys would always tell you that it's always best to be diversified. It's always best to be diversified. Now, let's just take a look at Crow. I covered it earlier. All right, so let's talk about this. So let's put a stochastic on this. Whoops, not two, just one. All right. So this is crypto.com daily. And what do we notice? What do we notice? Well, it broke out above the 18-day moving average. Okay, so this breakout was a pain in the ass, but this return move is not. This is actually rather smooth. Okay, so this could hint at retail participation in crypto. Now, they have to get back above, you know, 50 cents. So I would diversify your portfolio, but if you only got, I would never always bet on one coin. But why don't you just give it a chance? Now, the other angle is, if you have to ask me, should I diversify my holdings, then you've already answered your question. You've already answered your question, right? Not that I don't want to answer your question, just that I encourage everybody who watches the show to, like, you know, believe in what you think. When you look at the chart, you're like, hey, you know, this might not be working out. Now, again, retail participation in crypto may flood in. Don't underestimate what can happen in altcoins over the next 2 weeks. If this fear trade disappears, people are going to go looking for solutions. Right now, people are looking for problems. Okay. You know, people are going to go looking for solutions instead of problems. Okay. Daniel says, so a little crypto therapy. Okay. Daniel says, I'm trapped in VeChain and it's horrible. All right. So let's talk about that. Now, it has been horrible in VeChain. I covered it earlier, but I'm not just covering VeChain now. Okay. So, at a moment where everyone feels like giving up, sometimes that can be the low. But if you made too big of a bet and you're not sleeping at night, right? It is not worth losing sleep over a crypto position. If you did a bad trade, you have something in common with every trader, the greatest traders who ever lived. Now, I don't want you to be impatient, but I do want you to sleep at night. And this goes for buying breakouts too, right? I mean, if you bought Decentraland up 12% today, you might not sleep over the next 2 days because there are other catalysts. I get it. It's hard, right? But that's what I'm here for, right? Because you have more ability than you think you do, right? Raymond asked me to, is reminding me about XRP. I cannot tell a lie. I am interested in XRP. I'm interested. It showed up briefly in our AI indices. Okay. It did a bump and run on a trend line. Let me see if I can get all this up on the screen. Right now, the prior ceiling has become the floor. And I'm wondering if there's a positive regulatory outcome for XRP. I mean, every time XRP outperforms Bitcoin, the market goes down. So a slower moving XRP rally. But if I owned XRP, I would just put a stop in and leave it. Not investment advice. I mean, if something bad comes out with the government, it happens. But this is like the shoot your shot type of environment. Okay. Someone's asking about GLMR. Okay. So in GLMR, it looks like everybody was in a big hurry to sell at 529. Right. You want to see bulls. So obviously after the initial run up, so let's tell the story. Everybody gives up over a course of say 3 to 4 days. So this thing goes from $6 to $4 or $4.50 in 3 days. And then everybody who's a bag holder gets out. Okay, everyone gets out. And the question is, are bulls going to come back in here and start grabbing it? I think there's a distinct possibility that they will. It's possible. You know what? So let's see where the rest of crypto is trading. So ETH is still up 6%, right? These are 89-minute charts here. Here's like Bitcoin futures. All right. So let's, take one last look on the way out the door. See, this is why I don't want to pay up in Bitcoin, because I think you got people selling it at 47K. Right. I think there's a better play in altcoins. Just let it evolve. Now I'm gonna end off with Chainlink. Okay. Chainlink, this is a short-term chart. This is 89 minutes. What's going to happen? Okay. All of the people that puked out Chainlink, like all of the people that puked it out below 18, right? All these people down here, what is going to happen in Chainlink when everybody who realizes that they puked it on this low, right? The bigger the base, the higher in the space. Like what are these people going to do when they realize that Chainlink has probably got room to go right back where it came from at 19, right? I mean, we're not talking about 3 years ago. We're talking about the start of February. Like, what's changed? What's changed? Putin's mad at NATO and the Fed has to hike rates. I'm over it. All right, folks, let's go back to the PowerPoint for just one brief moment. Obviously, with the market up today, we've got a lot of people interested in the stream. Definitely appreciate you tuning in. Okay, just a few reminders. Don't forget, folks, if you're going to make money in crypto, do it now. Love 30 to get yourself a subscription to Token Metrics or upgrade an existing plan. We have stylish apparel. We have a trading battle with me and Mehdi coming up in a couple of hours. And for our customers, we have a crypto tax webinar. The trading battle will be at 4:15 Eastern Time. All right. Okay, folks, that's it for today. Friends, remember, if you're going to make money in crypto, now's a good time to do it, right? Dips can happen. Don't buy resistance. But I reiterate my view that you got to have a core long position, all right? So I thank everybody. There's a bunch of people sticking up for me in the chat here. I appreciate that. And I definitely appreciate all my viewers. Trust me, we are working harder and harder, all right? We're at professional backdrops, wardrobe, right? Hopefully the video is better and there's no more lags. So we're working on it. Don't count out Token Metrics or your host, Bill Noble. Okay, friends, that's it for me today. Okay, Juliet, Lava, Jeremy, okay? All right, Roan, DZ Player, Rotine, Taz, thank you. We will see you tomorrow.